All right, welcome. So we'll start seated. You can also go on your back. Today is a little more gentle. If you like to start on your back, we're just going to do a little breathing, arriving. And do your best to sit tall. Bring your attention to your breath. As you exhale, breathe down into the hips. Feel the legs touching the earth. Get grounded in your seat. And as you inhale, grow tall, lengthen through the spine. Breathe lots of space in between the ribs. Breathe lots of space around the heart on all sides. Back of the heart into the armpits. Keep lengthening up through the crown. And keep that inner lift, that fullness. As you exhale, let the shoulders settle onto the back of the heart. Relax your jaw and your tongue, the muscles around your eyes and lips. And drop into Ujjayi Pranayama. It's a gentle tone in the back of the throat. And imagine that you're fogging a mirror. Keep your lips closed. And let your inhalation be full and bright and expansive. And let your exhalation be complete and settling and anchoring. And try to let your inhale and exhale be the same length. Same quality, same effort. Just taking these first few moments to allow the body and mind to arrive here in this moment. And letting go of any busyness of your day, any thoughts of the future or thoughts of the past. Just working really hard to be right here, right now, with your breath, feeling sensation in your body, feeling the air on your skin, feeling the hands on your body. And when you do find your mind wandering, because it will, without any judgment or anger, just gently bring your attention back to your breath. That will always help bring you back into the present. And the next time you breathe in, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Take this time to set an intention for your practice, to make an offering or a prayer. And I'll share the metta phrases with you. May we be happy and peaceful. May we be healthy and strong. May we be safe and protected. And may we live with ease. Inhale, stretch the arms up to the sky, reaching up. Then we'll Om on our exhale, bring your hands to your heart. bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. I'll stay seated and cross your legs a little bit tighter so you're kind of more crossed at your shins, and flex your feet. And seated cat and cow. So inhale, roll the shoulders on the back and lift the heart. And then exhale, rock back and hold onto the shins so you can really lean back and round the back. So just go at your own pace. Inhale, open the heart, roll the shoulders on the back. Exhale, curl back. And then come back to seated. Use the hands more on the outer thighs and take your ribs over to the left. So you're kind of just pushing on the legs to really try to pull the rib cage over to the left. Try to keep the hips super heavy and anchored. And then go the other way. So ribs right and left. You're just trying to isolate the rib cage. I just kind of like to push on my legs to help pull the ribs just a little more. We'll keep going side to side. Try to keep the legs really strong and heavy. And as much space in the ribs as you can, in the waist. And then we're going to add those two together. So inhale, push your ribs forward like we did in the cat and cow. And then over to the left. And then round it towards the back and over to the right. So big rib circles. And really think about there's a hula hoop around you and you're trying to touch all the edges of the hula hoop. Try not to skip any edges. And then notice those spots that you do tend to skip over. And really kind of slow down in that space. Try to keep your feet strong and your legs strong. That'll help you get a little more opportunity to open up the torso. So just go this direction. We're going to the left. And then next time you're forward, stay there and start to walk your hands forward. And you can let your head dangle if you like, little half circles, or you can let your torso kind of sway around a little bit. Nice big breath in, keep the legs super heavy. And then stretch the arms up to the sky on your in-breath. Reach up. Keep the ribs in the body. And then exhale, fingertips behind you. Puff up the chest. So roll the shoulders on the back. Keep kind of looking forward or even down a little bit. But lift your chest up towards your face. And you push your fingers down and away from you. And really try to think about the shoulder blades on the back of the heart are squeezing in and kind of pushing your chest forward and up. Good. And then switch the leg that's in front. And we'll take our rib circles the other way. So ribs go forward to the right, curl back. And then maybe get a little circle in the head and just kind of whatever naturally happens with the head is fine. And then again, slow down in those little corners or edges that need a little extra attention, a little extra breath. And then the next time you're forward, again, walk your hands forward. And work really hard to be moving from the pelvis here. So think about your tailbones reaching up towards the back wall. Your sit bones are kind of scraping up and wide. Really strong in the low back. Good. Nice. And then from here, just kind of rock forward over the legs to hands and knees. Spread the fingers nice and wide. We're going to draw a circle with the tailbone. So pretend you're just drawing a circle on the back wall with your tailbone. So take your tailbone over to the side, up to the sky, and around. And that circle will kind of start to corkscrew through the ribs and the chest. But you're initiating the movement with the tailbone. So it's not like a hip circle forward and back. Try to keep your shoulders right over the wrists, and you're drawing a circle on the back wall there. And then just start to feel how it starts to ripple through the middle body and into the shoulders and the chest, and your head can start to circle too. And then come to stillness just for a moment and get ready to go the other direction. So whichever way you didn't go. For me, I get confused. So tailbone's drawing a circle. Just think about your tailbone and it'll just kind of naturally ripple through the rest of the body. Good. Try to make it really big. And then we'll take the hips forward and back. So inhale, kind of sit back like you're going towards child's pose. And then scoop your chest through like you're coming towards a cobra. And you can kind of just make this however you like. Maybe you do a little twist side to side and then round back to child's pose and take a few of those. Keeping the hands really strong. Keeping the ribs in the body. When you come forward, do your best to keep your heart super open. Really get the shoulders back. Beautiful. And then when you feel ready, tuck your toes and take your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Nice big stretch through the arms and legs. If you have any wiggles you like to do, pedal the feet, or let the hips sway, or let your head roll side to side. Bend your knees a little so you're not locking the knees, and really focus on super long, strong back. Don't worry about straight legs. Really get super strong in the arms. Reach your hips super high. Nice. Good. Good. Let the knees come down and bring the hips all the way back to child's pose. So we're going to play with a little flow here. So you'll drag your fingers back behind your hips. Bring the fingertips behind and lift your chest, lift your heart. The hips can stay down for this first one. And then inhale, stretch the arms up. We'll do a side, let's do cactus first. Cactus the arms. And then stretch the arms up and side bend. Grab your right wrist, pull it to the left. Inhale back to center. Other side, exhale. Inhale back to center. And then back to child's pose with the arms reaching forward. And then you'll drag them back towards your hips. Fingertips behind, puff up your chest. Optional to lift the hips here if you feel like you might like that. Beautiful. And then nice strong core when you're ready, just on your own time. Arms stretch up, reaching up. Cactus, lift the heart. Keep the ribs in the body, core strong. Inhale, stretch up. Side bend to the right this time. Inhale to center. Exhale. Beautiful. Inhale to center. Child's pose. We'll do one more of those. So just kind of take it at your own pace. When you're ready, fingertips drag back. Open your heart, inhale. You lifted the hips, exhale, hips down, stretch the arms up to the sky. Keep the ribs in, really push through the legs, whichever way, side bend. Oops, you're right, cactus. Inhale. If you didn't cactus, you can do that here. And then child's pose, stretch the arms and stay there, let your head land. Just take an extra breath, relax your neck, deep breath in, long breath out. Good, inhale, hands and knees. Step your right foot forward to the outside of your hand. Hands right and under the chest, and you might need to scoot your back knee back so you're pretty long in your stride, and lizard pose so your foot is a little bit wide, kind of towards the edge of the mat. And just start with some hip circles here. And go both ways. And then a little forward and back, so you can kind of take the hips back. You don't have to do a straight leg, but maybe towards a straight leg, just back and forth. When you pull the hips back, really try to feel the mobility in the pelvis. So a lot of times we just round the back to pull the hips back, but really try to lead with the pelvis. The tailbone's gonna reach up and your low back's nice and strong. Nice, good. And then come back to center. So we're just gonna hold a little bit here. So hands can be right under your chest, or if you're someone who likes to bring a forearm or both forearms to the floor, you can do that here as well. So try not to just dangle in that back hip. So you wanna push the back knee down, kind of drag it towards you. That'll try to keep the femur bone engaged in the hip socket and the pelvis nice and stable. And then just a little variation, pick up the right toes and turn the right toes out. You just want your knee to follow the toes. It doesn't matter how far you go, but you just want to make sure your knee is going that same direction. So really kind of widen the knee. Nice. And feel free to kind of play a little bit. If you like to wiggle, I'm like a wiggler. I like to sway in my hips. If you like to play with stretching your arms somewhere, maybe way forward or over to the side. As long as you're really solid in the foundation, the feet, and contained in the hips and the pelvis, you can kind of experiment with the rest of the body. Good. So turn the toes forward first, nice and slow and carefully. Step your right foot back. We're going to play with that little flow. So bring the hips back towards child's pose. Slowly drag the fingers behind you, lifting your heart. Don't feel like you have to lift your hips if that's not good for you. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, just on your own time, arms stretch up. Pull the ribs in, open the heart, cactus. Inhale, stretching up. Side bend, whichever way. Keep the ribs in, really stretch through the knees like you're growing them through the floor. Inhale back to center. Inhale back to center. Child's pose, exhale, and one more of those. So just, again, try to go at your own pace. Don't feel like you need to rush through. Eventually, fingertips behind, lift your heart. When you lift your arms, just re-engage the ribs into the body. Carve the shoulder blades on the back of the heart. Feel your heart shining. Take your side bend. Relax your face. Back to child's pose. Stay there for an extra breath. Really try to let yourself kind of soften when you're resting. Try not to hold any tension in your neck, trying to hold your head up. Really let your forehead land and relax your jaw and feel your belly press into the legs as you breathe. And then inhale to hands and knees, left foot forward, lizard. Take it to the outside edge of the mat. Scooch the back knee back so you're just a little bit longer in that stride, and just start with a little circles or a little forward and back. Keep this foot this front foot super heavy so the toes can lift, but try to keep the four corners of the foot rooting down so your foot's nice and strong. Good. And when you find those spots that are a little bit tender, just slow down there. Beautiful. And then you can bring one forearm down or both forearm downs. Or if you did ever bring blocks, you could bring blocks and put them under your chest right here. So for me, when I kind of settle, my hip tends to want to just drop down. So I'm just going to remind you again, push the back knee down, drag it forward, and feel how that kind of pulls the top of the femur bone a little deeper into the hip socket. It even pulls the femur bone towards the hamstring there. And then lift the toes, turn the foot out. But you want to really feel that coming from the femur bone. So it's not just turn the toes out. You want to feel this whole femur bone externally rotate. You kind of feel like you're wrapping your left butt under you. Long exhales. Try to relax your shoulders. And carefully turn the toes forward. Just take one more last little wiggle forward and back. And again, think about you're moving from the pelvis, not the middle back. So your pelvis is what's moving your hips forward and back. You guys look great. Nice. Good. Okay, step that left foot back and we'll take our little flow. Sit back, child's pose. Drag your fingertips back. Just go at your own pace. Big breath. Keep moving with your breath. Cactus the arms, pull the ribs in. Side bend, feel free to make it a little different. Nice. Child's pose when you're ready, and then one more cycle of that. Inhale, lifting the heart. Inhale, stretch it out. Side bending. Keep breathing. Really push through the legs. Keep the ribs in. child's pose when you're ready and stay there. Deep breath in, relax your neck. Long breath out. Take another big breath. Feel your belly press into the legs. Feel the whole back body expanding. Long exhale. Good. Come back to hands and knees. Take your right foot behind like you would a side plank, and then the left arm up. We're going to do a big circle with the left arm. So big circle with the left arm, and the left hand's going to come down. You're going to go right into the second side. So left hand down. Did I say the wrong side? So left arm circles. I'm going to try to mirror you. Left hand down, left knee down. Right arm circle. So keep going and really play with this giant arm circle. And then when you place your hand down, do it super mindfully and intentionally, like fingertips, just so much integrity as you plant your hand. Claw your hand, make the arm muscle so strong as you take that big stretch. Maybe linger in more of that side bend with your arm reaching more forward towards me. Nice, you guys. Yeah, keep going. Just go at your own pace. And if you do want a little more strength, you can play with hovering that bottom knee. Just kind of tucking it into the body. Beautiful. Good. And then both hands down, back to hands and knees. Step your right foot forward, this time between the hands. Switch that back knee back. Inhale to rise. So you can go hands on the thighs just till you get stable, and then stretch the arms up. Hook your thumbs. Bend the elbows and pull the thumbs apart, and kind of feel how that helps you engage the shoulders on the back. Really squeeze the shoulders on the back. And then maybe push towards straighter arms. Keep the ribs pulling in, but push your right knee forward. Nice, good. Keep pulling the ribs back and then side bend over to the right. Keep pulling the ribs back, but push the right knee forward. Inhale back to center, hands to the heart, and then twisting, twisted prayer. So elbow on the thigh there, or you can bring the left hand to the floor for your twist. Good. Another breath there. Left hand to the floor for everybody. Step your right foot back to that side plank you just did. So right foot all the way back. Keep the left knee down, right arm open. And then it's like a baby half moon. So play with that right leg floating up. Reach the right arm forward. Take a big inhale. And then exhale, bring that right knee to the elbow. Inhale, big stretch. Keep the ribs in. Exhale, curling in. Keep clawing that bottom hand. Inhale, stretch up. Stay there. This time, bend your heel to your butt and reach your arm back towards us. Maybe you can grab it, maybe not. But just think of like a quad stretch here. You don't need to open too much into a back bend. Think more about stretching the quads. Keep the ribs in, roll the shoulders on them. Like stretch your knee towards the back wall. Good. Take your time to unwind and play with the vinyasa. So this can be a yogi's choice vinyasa, or if you like the little sequence you've been playing with, dragging your fingertips back towards your heart, towards your hips, or any little movement or stillness that you want to do. Nice. And it could be toes or a rest. Let's take a few more breaths. Good. Okay, back to hands and knees. Take your time. Left foot forward between the hands. Scoot your back knee back. And then inhale to rise. So back knee drags forward. Ribs pull back. I like to imagine like someone's trying to tickle you with a feather in your belly. Keep the ribs back. And then inhale, stretch the arms up. Hook your thumbs. Try to do other thumb in front. Bend the elbows. Squeeze the shoulders on the back. And keep pulling on your thumbs as you try to push them towards straight. Keep the ribs in, but push your left knee forward. And looking wherever feels good to you. If you like to look up or forward. And then take that side bend. So try to keep the ribs in. Really stretch through that right knee, that bottom knee. Take a big breath in, hands to your heart, come back to center, and then start to twist. So pull the left ribs back, right ribs forward. Elbow can land on the thigh or right hand to the floor. Good. Right hand to the floor. Step the left foot back, side plank. So you're facing the whatever that is over here. Yep. So spread your fingers down there. Pull the shoulder on the back. That right shoulder gets super strong. Try not to lock this elbow. And then lift the leg like baby half moon. And then top arm, reach it forward. Big stretch. Even kind of do a little bit of an arc. Bring your fingertips more towards the floor. Yeah. And then exhale, kind of curl in. Play with a little bit of balance. Inhale, big stretch. Hug that bottom shoulder onto the back of the heart. Exhale. Awesome. Stay there on your stretch. And then bend so you're bringing your heel to your bum, hamstring curl. And you either grab your foot or not. No big deal if you're not. Pull the ribs in. Roll the shoulders back. And stretch your knees. And you can start to open your heart a little bit, but try not to lock the elbow back there. Yeah, good. Just take your Yogi's Choice Vinyasa when you've had enough of that. So again, Yogi's Choice. I really want you to think about what your body wants right now. So there's really doesn't have to be a plan in your brain. Just kind of listen to what your body wants to do and just go with it. And sometimes it's nice to close your eyes and just kind of see what happens. You start breathing and your body just kind of knows what it wants to do. Eventually we'll meet on our belly, so come all the way onto your belly. So pretend you're wearing a pair of jeans. Just make a pillow with your hands right under your forehead, and pretend you're buttoning your pants and zipping them up. So you're really trying to engage that deep band, that deep belly muscle. So button your pants, zip them up, and keep that. And then start to cactus the arms to locust. So leave the legs down, lift the chest, cactus the arms, locust. Button your pants again, zip them up, and then see if you can just bend the elbows and use that to help lift you up a little bit more. And then start to bring the hands back behind you just a little bit more. Nice. And then add the legs. Button your pants again, zip them up. See if we can just go a teeny bit more with the legs. Squeeze everything on the front body first, and then engage the back body tiny bit higher. And then give yourself a rest. Very nice. Good work. Just wiggle out the hips. Take your right knee out to the side like a half frog, or like if you're a belly sleeper, you might sleep like that. And just kind of passive here, so you can leave your hands under your forehead. Try to keep your pelvis heavy. And when we're belly down, it's a really nice opportunity to check in with the breath. So really feel your belly push into the ground as you breathe. It kind of is a nice feedback for your breath. So breathing into the low belly, the lungs, and the chest. Feel how it moves into the back body as well. And then exhale. Lift your head and chest. Slide your left arm all the way through. So you're going to reach kind of past your knee. And you might want to watch first. You're going to roll onto your back and you'll kind of land in this twist. So open the right arm all the way open. Yep. And then any little adjustments you might like to do. And you can really take this into any twist you like. If you like to roll a little bit more onto the right, or if you like to stretch the right leg straight, or bend both knees if you prefer. So nice deep breath into the low belly, the hips, the pelvis. Breathe into the right side of the lungs, the right side of the heart. Breathe into the right side of the brain and the face. Just be really slow about unwinding. You'll come onto your belly and stretch the right leg long. Make a pillow with your hands. Once again, just kind of pause there and center. Just let the pelvis neutralize. Big breath in. And then you can slide your left knee out. And if you have your head turned one way, just make sure you turn the other way this time. Or if your forehead was down, that's fine too. And then letting the pelvis be really heavy. Your breath really full. Just kind of play with the breath here. You could imagine that you're filling a pitcher. So inhale, it kind of fills the bottom first. So inhale into the low belly, the lungs, and the heart. And then like a French press, you empty. So empty from the top down, empty the chest, lungs, belly. Inhale to the belly, lungs, heart. Exhale, heart, lungs, belly. And then get ready for your twist. So inhale, lift the head and chest. I kind of just slide the arms under, sort of like Sphinx. And then right arm, stretch it way, way through as far as you can. And then open that left arm. And it's fine to kind of, you test it out and then make your adjustments as needed. And then whatever twist you did on the first side, if you did something else, just make sure you do the same thing on the second side. Breathe into the belly, lungs, heart. Exhale, heart, lungs, belly. take a slow unwind back to your belly. And then eventually pressing yourself up to hands and knees, no rush. Maybe any little hip circles to wiggle out. And then you're going to take your right shin on top of the left and start to sit back. So this can be kind of intense. So you might, like, this might be enough. I want you to play with smashing the calf, smashing this bottom calf. So you're using kind of the shin bone to push down, kind of smash the muscle. So for me, like, I can really push with my leg here. But if you want to sit back, that could be more intense. Some of you might like that. So we're going to stay a little bit, and you just try to let your exhale be really long. Like, some of you can even kind of sit up here. That's a little too much for me. But you can really play with the more weight you bring back in the hips, the more you can smash your calves. I like to call it calf smashing.
Different at different parts of it too.
Yes, so you play with going higher and then a little bit closer to the ankle. Definitely play with that. Kind of find your tender spot, and that's probably the spot to be at for a little bit, but then do play with going up and down. And you can, just feel it out. I like to use this bottom foot as a little bit of gives me a little bit of a break, so I tuck the foot under, but it really doesn't matter. It could be a flat foot too. Anybody a runner? This is probably good for anybody who's on their feet all the time. So Wendy, you were here when we did the foot one, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we just brought it up to the leg. The foot one's this. So same idea, we did this I think last week. We're using the foot to massage, the bone to massage the foot. So now we're using the shin bone to get into the calf. This is like things I would typically do with a ball.
Yeah. It's easier this way though.
Or I've done it with the blanket too. So when you're ready to switch, it's good to kind of hold these things for like a minute, which might be like 10 breaths. I'm really bad at kind of keeping track of time. But do like a downward dog or even a forward fold just to compare. And then you can do your other side when you're ready. And just take it slow, like maybe you're leaning way forward for the first couple breaths and you just slowly work your way a little more upright. Check your shoulders, kind of, if you feel like you're kind of holding your shoulders, just maybe roll them around a little bit, or even little half circles with your neck. Wiggle out your jaw. And longer exhales, longer than your inhale, can also help. And trying to relax the bottom leg, the leg that you're smashing. Just try not to be too grippy. And then if you are, just maybe back off a little bit. And I do lean way forward, but you can really kind of be more up here and lean back. Like you seem to be okay with that. My calves are my calves have always been really tight. This is hard for me.
A different tightness on different ways.
Yeah, that's fun to notice too. So maybe take about 3 more breaths and move your leg around if you didn't move it at all. And then if you want to play with another down dog or a forward fold, whatever you did on that first round to kind of compare. We'll get onto our back after that. For me, like in down dog, one heel can be closer. Like the one I just worked seems to be closer to the floor. So eventually getting onto your back, no rush, take your time. And we'll go figure 4. So take your right ankle over the left thigh. And you can just have your hands out or make a pillow with your hands and pull the legs in towards you without using your hands to start. Yeah. And then if you like to rock around a little bit, if you do like to grab your legs, you can do that here as well. I kind of like to play without holding onto my legs sometimes. And see if you like that. Flex both feet so your feet are nice and strong. Think about pulling your left leg towards you and pushing your right leg away from you, just using the muscles of your legs. If you want to use your hand, bring your right hand into the right hip, like down by the hip, and you can kind of push that right hip away a little bit. You want to try to have the natural curve in the low back. So think about tailbone pointing to the floor, and that'll kind of help create that natural curve in the low back. If we're tight in the legs, our pelvis likes to tilt and our tailbone kind of curls up. Try not to do that. Just back off if you need to. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, keep your legs in this shape, but bring the left foot to the floor. And then just roll onto the outer edge of the left foot. You're going to kind of drop the legs over to the left. Yeah. So the right knee, I like to point it up to the sky, but you can play with it. Maybe bend the knee towards your face a little bit and point it up and kind of find the spot that feels good to you. I also like to hold the left ankle with the right hand. That just kind of helps me hold my leg where I want it. Did I say that right? No, hold the other ankle. Yeah, that one. I mean, you can hold the bottom leg too, but yeah. Yeah. And then take your time, come back to center nice and slow. Right foot to the floor. Just take one breath with pelvis in neutral. And then figure 4, second side, left ankle on top. Flex the feet, pull the legs towards you, keep the pelvis heavy. Keep the pelvis heavy as you bring the legs towards you. And I like to do no arms because I feel like it helps me keep my shoulders more grounded. You can just play with that. But if you do want to reach up and grab your legs, just re-ground the shoulders, snuggle them back under the heart. And then get ready to twist. So bring the foot down to the floor, right foot down, and then drop over to the right. Yeah. unwind back to center. And take one last symmetrical pose of your choice. A happy baby, reclined butterfly, feet together, knees apart, or a bridge pose, or just hugging the knees in. Any last little settling you like to do. And eventually making your way into Shavasana. And stretching the legs. Relax fingers and toes. Get your layers on if you have them. It's a little snuggle of the shoulders under the heart. Maybe give your bones just a little wiggle to settle. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And let go again. Let your eyes be heavy in their sockets. Unhinge your jaw, soften your tongue. Letting go into stillness. Resting. Shavasana. to your belly, your lungs, and your heart. As you exhale, gently bring movement back to the body. Little fingers and toes. Reach your arms overhead. Take a lazy stretch. And bend your knees, rest on your side. Come to seated as you're ready, sitting tall. And bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Just take a moment to feel the effects of your practice and to honor your efforts for showing up today. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. May we all be happy and peaceful. May we all be healthy and strong. May we all be safe and protected. May we all live with ease. And may all beings benefit from your yoga practice. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.